A few words of explanation about the boy who loved robots. Robert, the boy who loved robots, has been given the opportunity to build a robot kit in order for Kevin Granton, the owner of the shop Artificial Logic, to write a review, but he had wanted the robot to have been built by a teenager. So here we go. That weekend, Robert hardly stopped working on the robot, but he kept wishing that he could look up and see Alia there, asking him how he was getting on. However, he did once or twice have another visitor to the garage, his little sister Lucy. "Can I do some?" she inquired in her sweet little 5-year-old voice. At first, Robert was very tempted to tell her to go away, but he thought better of it. If he did, she would go indoors in tears, telling their mum that Robert told me to go away. And he sensed something else too. It was an uncannily strong feeling, so strong that Robert turned to see if there was anyone there other than himself and Lucy. For it was as his own dad was standing watching over his son's shoulder. And Robert thought back to the countless times that he had watched his dad in this self-same garage, working on something or other, and his dad had never once told him to go away, but had patiently answered his every question and explained in words that Robert could understand what he was doing, how it worked, and why it needed his attention. And right at this very moment, Robert was struggling to get a bolt to stay in place while he fiddled the nut onto the thread of the bolt. So instead of telling Lucy to go away, Robert said, "You see this bit here, Lucy? The brown bit with the knobbly bits on it? Yes, that bit. Well, I have got to fix it in place with these 4 bolts. Can you get your hand into there and press on the bolt, Lucy? Here, try." Lucy's little hands were in fact just what Robert needed at that very moment. She was able to reach into the confined space easily and press gently on each of the 4 bolts in turn, while Robert fiddled a nut onto the thread of each of the bolts. "Thank you, Lucy. That was so helpful," Robert told her. And what was utterly great for him was that he really meant it. He felt very tempted to write into his notes under a section that he had made where he had listed entitled Extra Tools That Would Be Helpful. One little brother or sister with small hands, but contented himself by remarking that certain components were very difficult to reach to secure in place. Robert also knew something else. Firstly, Lucy would go away feeling wanted, not rejected. And secondly, she would probably quickly tire of watching him and would go back out of the garage of her own accord. And by the end of that second weekend of working on the robot, Robert was beginning to make real progress and had quite a long list of comments and suggestions to pass on to Kevin Granton.